What's going on, everyone? Just wanted to come on and talk to y'all about something many of you have asked me about and commented to me about and DM'd me about, and I just haven't gotten around to it, so I'm doing it now. Yay! It is Cuties with Curlies. So a lot of you guys have asked me about how I style my son's hair. If you don't know, I have a 2.5-year-old. He's got very curly hair. He was born with stick straight black hair with sideburns down to his chin. I am not joking. Ridiculous. Definitely a surprise. And it grew out, and around 9 months old, it got really puffy and curly, but I didn't understand why it looked so bad after it was dry. And I thought, oh my God, I'm ruining his hair, and he's not even a year old. Sounds ridiculous, I know, virgin hair, but you know, first time mom stuff. So I took to a Facebook mothers group, and a lot of people said, cut out the shampoo. I was like, girl, you crazy? They were onto something, because I went to Walgreens and I bought a organic coconut something conditioner. I couldn't tell you, it probably wasn't Curly Girl approved, but none of that mattered because I was dealing with a baby. And I put it on his hair and I cut out the shampoo, and after a wash, it made a huge difference when it was dried. And then after several washes, it was like a completely different head of hair. So I thought, okay, there's some validity to this. It ended up having me start the Curly Girl method, but not until he was about 18 months old, a year and a half. So I looked into it a little bit more in terms of, you know, products that were and were not approved, and I'm not going to get into all of that because a lot of you guys are just here for your kids, and I don't think you need to stress. There's a million other things with your children that you can worry about, and if there's a silicone in their conditioner or sulfates in their shampoo, like, I'm going to suggest y'all what I have that are Curly Girl approved, so that works. But I also want to say that none of this is sponsored. I'm not being paid by anyone to suggest these items to you. I'm only suggesting them or showing you what I'm using, I should say, because that is what works for me and for my family. So I am not telling you to go buy these things. I feel the need to stress that because this is children that we're dealing with, and whatever you feel comfortable with doing in terms of products and in terms of application technique, like, that's totally up to you. This is just what I do with my son because a lot of you guys have asked. So here we go. I'm going to cover the 2 types of wash days that we have, how I dry his hair, whether that's air drying or if I need to use a blow dryer. Refreshing, so on days that you're not washing but you need their hair to kind of perk up, and like I said, products. So like I said, there's 2 types of wash days that we have. The first is just a traditional wash, which would be just a conditioner. So I primarily use the Blue Sea Kale and Pure Coconut Water. This is from Ulta. It's not Your Mother's Naturals brand. I originally bought this for me, and it was just too heavy for my hair, so I passed it along to my son. And this little 16-ounce bottle has lasted him forever. You just don't need to use that much. A little bit goes a long way. Once the conditioner is applied to their hair, that's when I brush his hair. I use a wet brush. That is literally the brand, Wet. It's got cute little ice cream and popsicle people on it, so it's entertaining for him. And then I brush when the conditioner's in there. This has really good slip to it, so it gets through tangles really easily. These bristles are really soft, so they don't really snag in his hair. Makes it gentle. He still hates his hair being brushed, but the second I stop, he forgets it happened. So this works great. That's it, and then we get out and he's done. On other wash days, about every 4 to 6 weeks, I need to clarify his hair. I can just tell it looks really weighed down. It doesn't feel the same. The texture changes a little bit. I can't explain to you like how that would work for your kids. You honestly you'd just see it. You'd notice, okay, their hair is starting to look a little bit different than maybe it normally is. So I use a clarifying shampoo. This is the Can2 Shea Butter Cleansing Cream Shampoo. This has a very light sulfates in it. So despite it saying sulfate free, this is why you always have to read the ingredients list despite what the marketing on the front says. I use this on myself when I clarify, so my son uses it. No special products for him. He uses what I use. This stuff is great. I love this. I've been using this since the day that I started the Curly Girl method, and it's been a year. And then I'll follow up with a conditioner. I'll let that sit on his hair for a while, and then we're done. So those are the 2 washes that I have. If you want to do a shampoo every day, the reason that we don't, I'm just going to get into this really fast, is because most shampoos that contain sulfates can strip the natural oils from your hair, so the oil reproduces and makes your hair look greasy if you shampoo every day. So that's the reason why a lot of us cut it out. Also, we go off the premise that naturally curly hair tends to be naturally drier. It is hard for those oils to travel down the hair shaft. So we focus on conditioning or using co-washes. So if you do want to do a type of shampoo and conditioner every day, I would say look into what might be Curly Girl approved, or what might be gentle or a light cleanser or a low poo. What I have been using, and I have been meaning to do a review on this for myself because I use this product myself and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But not to dismiss how good this is. So I use only curls, the all curl cleanser, very light, and then the all curl conditioner. Again, very lightweight. This is not a very heavy conditioner, but man, it does its job. So I scrub this in, rinse it out. I let this sit on his hair. Again, only brushing when the conditioner's in there because he goes mad when there's tangles in there, and there's always tangles in there because he's 2.5. And then let's say you have somewhere you need to go, or you have family photos and you just need your kid to look maybe a little more tamed than they normally do. The line also has a curl cream, which would be the first thing I would apply after they get out on soaking wet hair, just a dime size. Rub it into your hands, quickly smooth it and scrunch it in if they'll tolerate it. And then the same thing, I use about 2 pumps of this. Not much comes out in a pump. It's actually a small amount, so it ends up being about maybe a nickel size of gel. A very light gel. This isn't like when you see somebody with gel in their hair and they haven't scrunched it out and it creates a cast, that's that shiny, crunchy look. That doesn't exactly, at least I haven't had it give me a cast or my son a cast, because we don't use that much. But if it did, you would do this to scrunch it out. So when applying either the gel or the cream, you can just kind of smooth it in and scrunch it in and then be done with it. Now, in terms of drying, 95% of the time I let my son's hair air dry. It's just easier that way, and if I don't have anything important going on, like, why would I spend time drying his hair? So, or if you need to get outside, you might need to dry their hair, or you have somewhere to be, you might need to dry their hair. So I have a diffuser on my blow dryer. I don't use it on my son because he's afraid of it. It is massive. If you're familiar with all of this, it is the Extava Black Orchid. It's literally the size of my head. It's this giant black bowl. It's got these prongs that stick out of it. It's a diffuser. But he's 2.5, it scares him, especially when you flip on the dryer and it's making this howling noise. So I take it off. I actually kind of let him play with it, and then from a distance, I turn the blow dryer on, high speed, medium heat, and I kind of go like this, and he thinks it's funny, so let the air blow in his face. He likes to spin in circles. That helps with drying. Sometimes my husband will, kind of play with him and flip him upside down, and when he's upside down, I kind of scrunch his hair and hit it with the dryer. Anything just kind of help enhance the curl, but again, that's a ton of work, and a lot of the times that's not going to happen. So just a couple of ideas on what we do. And then for refreshes, so a refresh is how you kind of re-enhance the curl or the wave on days that it's not being washed, or in our case, like, hey, Allie, my kid takes naps during the day and they look like a caveman when they wake up. Boy, do I know it. I get it. And let's say, you know, first thing in the morning, you need to get up and go, or first thing after a nap, you need to get up and go. So you don't have time to wash it and dry it and do all of that business. So what I normally do, and most curly girls do this, is I have a spray bottle. I either put just a little bit of conditioner in it or a leave-in conditioner. I use my leave-in conditioner, which is the Curls Blueberry Bliss leave-in conditioner. I just put a little bit of it in there, shake it up until it's kind of disintegrated into the water and it doesn't clog the spray spout, and I mist it onto his hair. Kind of just smooth it in, scrunch it in, and that 99% of the time works out just great. Especially if they've had product put in their hair already, the water should reactivate the product that's in their hair, especially with gel. Not in all cases, but when we put this in his hair, I know that if I put a little bit of water on it after a nap or sleep, it will reactivate. No, I haven't had any skin issues with him. So that's what we use. Pretty straightforward. Again, none of this is sponsored. That's just what works for us. If you have any questions, you are always welcome to reach out to me. My inbox is always open. But yeah, that's what I do. So I hope that answered everybody's questions. And we'll talk soon. All right. Thanks, guys.